I want to talk about the start day of the week option. You'll find that at the moment I've got Monday set as the start day of the week, but the default is Sunday, and it doesn't make sense to me to have a Sunday as the start day of the week when people often don't work it, and therefore this date here will be irrelevant for many schedules. So this start day of the week applies to every project in the database, and to set the start day of the week you go to Admin Preferences, General tab, which is here, and you set the start day of the week here. Also, you set the default duration of activities. I like to have it 5 days because that means that when you add an activity, you see the activity fairly easily. If you make it 1 day, then the activity length is actually 8 hours. So it's like a 15th of a 5 day long one. So I do recommend that you maintain the default duration of 5 days and set the first day of the week as a Monday. Let's go and have a look at that in P6. So if I increase the time scale here, you'll see that the start day of the week is currently Sunday. So September the 18th is a Sunday. If I go to Admin Preferences and I go to General and make this a Monday and close, then now you'll see the start day of the week is on the Monday. That's where this dotted line is, and therefore October the 10th is Monday, and that's more relevant. So I do recommend that you go to Admin Preferences and make the start day of the week Monday, and keep the default duration of activities 5 days so you can actually see them. So if you are opening an EPPM database, then the default setting for the start day of the week is set in the Administration Application Settings General tab, and you set it here. As I said, in the EPPM database, when you open up the web, you generally find the same commands here. And also the default activity duration is set in the same place. Next, I want to talk about Admin Preferences, Set Industry Type. This is set in the Admin Preferences Industry tab, and what you'll find is that if you select Engineering, Construction or Utilities, Oil and Gas, you will have Original and Budgeted, whereas if you select Government, Aerospace and Defence or High Technology, Manufacturing and others, you'll get Planned and Planned. And Planned is what you'll see in the web. You won't see Original and Budgeted in the web. So let's have a look at where you set that in P6. So to set the industry type, you go to Admin Preferences, select Industry and make your option here. And that will change this from Original to Planned and this from Budgeted to Planned if you select the Government or High Technology. You have to restart the software before it will take place. Application of options within forms. In P6 there is an OK icon and an apply icon in all the forms, and also you'll find that some forms have a drop down box here where you'll find a menu, and also you can sort them. So you'll find that there are a number of formatting options in P6 forms that you don't find in other software. Let's just have a look at these in P6 now. Application of options within forms. So for example, I go to format bars, you'll see that I can hide the remaining work. Apply applies the change and I can see it, or if I display it, apply will allow me to display it, or OK will close the form. You'll find a lot of forms have drop down boxes in them. So if I go to assign roles, for example, it's got a drop down box where I can have various formatting options. And if I go and show predecessors or successors, again, these have a drop down box here where you can decide how you want to have them grouped and sorted and that sort of thing. Also, this arrow here has them alphabetically up or alphabetically down. The direction of the arrow changed in a recent version of P6. I can go, for example, to resources, and I can have them hierarchical, alphabetically up or alphabetically down, or hierarchical. These are the sort of options that you'll find in most forms. You'll find the option to sort and a menu. Do not ask me about this again. This sentence is often displayed in forms such as when you're copying and pasting a project. This option will hide the form when the function is used next time, but you'll find that if you restart P6, then it will allow you to see that form again next time you run that command, such as copying and pasting a project. So if I copy and paste a project, I can right click and I can copy. I might want to put it down here. I can right click and paste the project. And then I can tick do not show this again if I want to. And you'll see it's on all of the forms. I'll cancel out of this now. Right-clicking with mouse. Like most products, right-clicking will display a menu and you'll need to experiment to see all the options. In the Activities window, if I right-click on these tabs, I can hide the window or I can customize the details. If I'm on relationships, I can click on the headers here and I can customize the columns. If I click in the Gantt chart, I get these options. I get the same options in the timescale. I get a different set of options when I'm in the columns here, or I can right click in the toolbars and be able to edit the toolbars here. So again, you need to experiment a little bit to find all the options in the different windows. Accessing help. Help in earlier versions was only available when you install the software, whereas these days in later versions it's all online and you can actually access help without even having P6 installed. Online help takes you to an Oracle website, and this is the only method of accessing help with later versions. Primavera P6 version 22 introduced a What's New command that links to the Oracle Primavera Cumulative Feature Overview website, where users may look up changes between versions. And View Hint Help is a very useful feature for understanding how fields are calculated. And also my website primavera.com.au has a large number of papers. So let's have a look at this in P6. So in P6, to access help, obviously you can click on the help, and if you go to online help, then this will open up a browser and you should be able to see the online help here. And again, you can access this URL whenever you like. Another option you've got is to go to View and select Hint Help. When you select View Hint Help, if you highlight a column here like I've highlighted the finish date, you'll see in this box down here on the left hand side it tells you how it calculates the finish date. So it's really useful, this online help. Also, if you go to columns and you customize the columns, you can see that the hint help is available here as well. So if I go to the activities window and I go to the finish column, it explains in this box how the finish date is calculated, which is very useful. Also, in later versions of P6, you'll find that there's a what's new, and this allows you to go to the cumulative feature overview and you can put in what version you've got and what version you had, and this allows you to see the differences between, for example, version 22 and version 23 and run the report, and it gives you all the differences. I find this very useful. Also, finally, you can go to my website, primavera.com.au, and if you go to www.primavera.com.au, you'll find on this website that I have a number of technical papers on Microsoft Project, Oracle Primavera P6 and Electrosoft Power Project. You need to either select a category or select tags, which will give you a list of all of them that are available. And these take you the next step from my book here. So again, there is a lot of information here. And for example, in my What's New one, I not only give the function, but I also explain how it works and that sort of thing. So that's how to access help on P6. Refresh data key. This is a very useful key. When multiple people have a project open and you are editing, other people won't see your changes unless you press the F5 key, which writes your change data to the database and also reads changes that other users may have made to your schedule. So both users will have to press the key twice. It also corrects display issues, like if you've opened another project and the data date isn't in the right place, or you've made changes to the WBS and it's not displayed properly in the activities view. The refresh data also sorts out display issues, the same as other products. Moving on to commit changes, not quite so useful, but the commit changes command writes any changes you have made to the database, and these changes may be read by other users. So send project. So in Oracle Primavera P6, there are several formats that you can export files in, and one is an XER file, which is a text file, and the file send project creates an XER file of the file that you have opened and attaches it to an email. And this requires P6 and the email software to be loaded on the same machine and will not work in cloud environments and that sort of thing. An XCR file is the older file format. It doesn't support the exporting of baseline projects and activity layouts, and it's usually better than, if you wish to export a project with the baseline activity layouts, to use the file export option and selecting XML. The downside of using XML is that they may change the cost of a project on import when the resource rate in the resource window is not the same as the activity resource rate. So both formats have their own issues. So this is where you find the file commit change or refresh data command, but it's easier to press the key. And this is where you find the send project, and this is not going to work on this virtual machine, but if I select the send project, then it's giving me an error message. So you have to have your email system on the same operating system as P6. Closing down. The closing down options are, first of all, if you select File Close or Control W, this will close all the projects but not the software. If you select File Exit or click the X button in the top right hand side of the Primavera window, this will shut down all the projects and close Primavera. When you close down with the project open, then the project will be reopened when you next run the software. So if you use the same project all the time, then don't bother closing it down. When you close or exit P6 and reopen, it will be reopened for you. I have the Harbour Point Assisted Center project open, and if I click this red button here with the white cross, it will close the window but not close the project. You'll see that the project's still open and I can see the activities. So if I select File, Close All or Control W, that will close the project. And then if I go File and select Exit, this will close P6. As I said, if you close P6 with the project open, when you reopen P6, it will open up the project as well. Starting on navigation summary, we talked about how to log into P6. We looked at the projects window, opening one or more projects, displaying activities in the activities window, opening a portfolio. We've looked at introduction to layouts, how to customize the toolbars, user preference, start day of the week, admin preferences, set industry type. We've gone on to application options within forms, do not ask me again, right clicking with mouse, accessing help, refresh data, commit changes, send project and closing down. Now we'll do a workshop and practice these skills.